Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. I am going to be showing you how to solo duel in Yu-Gi-Oh! So whenever I play against myself, this is exactly how I do it. It's different and yet the same at the same time. If you're familiar with speed duels, it's kind of similar, but we will walk through this entire duel together and I'll just commentate over everything. And by the end, I think you'll have a great fun way to play against yourself. So first things first, this is the extra deck, but in this case, the Toon deck doesn't have an extra deck. So I kind of just call it like the boss monster. And this is going to be the banishing zone for both sides. And this is the graveyard. So we're going to start off by drawing 5 cards. We are going to start with the spellcaster deck. And it's also worth noting too, we are starting with 10,000 life points instead of 8,000 because I just find 8,000, it goes by so fast. In fact, I've actually messed around with 20,000, but that was a little too much. And I'll show you the cards just because we're doing this together. And right off street, this hand is not too bad at all. All these spells actually are really good. And this allows us to fusion any cards that either mention Dark Magician or Dark Magician Girl. So since we have both, our only option really is the Dark Magicians. So now I'm going to be playing the Gold Sarcophagus, which allows me to draw 1 card, and at the end of phase 2, I get to bring it back to my hand. Now it's going to be the Toon turn. Not the best hand in the world. Usually you'd want like either Toon Kingdom or something. So the best card we really have is Toon Harpy Lady that we can put down for defense. Toon World really does suck. Not getting 3 Toon Kingdoms was one of the stupidest things I ever do. I get wanting to play Goat, but some cards are just so antiquated. And now we'll switch back to these spellcasters. And Breaker the Magic Warrior is so good. He is almost key for getting rid of the Toon Kingdom. He is very important when it comes to this build. So he will attack the face down monster and he wins. And now the Dark Magicians is attacking the Toons directly, leaving them with 7,200 life points. But the biggest change from like regular Yu-Gi-Oh! And how this is so similar to speed duels is how you could only summon 3 monsters at one time. So whoever summons their 3rd monster effectively negates their opponent from summoning 3 monsters until that middle one is dealt with. And of course, if one of your other ones on the side is destroyed, then you move both cards to the side. So now these spellcasters will end their turn. And now it's back to the Toon's turn. This hand is just about as bad as it gets. So we'll play that place down and they'll end their turn. That's usually having higher cards for the Toons is super important. But when you brick, it's just never good. So I think I will use the Future Fusion here. This spellcaster's deck really revolves around fusioning. That's why there are so many fusion cards as you're currently seeing. In fact, fusions are some of my favorite. And I love just kind of deciding who to fuse, just whoever I'm kind of, feeling. So I show 1 fusion card and then I search my main deck for the fusion material, which is going to be Dark Magician and Blackluster Soldier, which getting the OG Blackluster Soldier was pure nostalgia, but so terrible. And voila, we have just summoned Master of Chaos, which, from what I recall, she isn't really the best, but still not too bad. A bunch of these fusion cards really are situational. So now I can attack their life points directly and do some very serious damage. That is the dangers of bricking. But we have time for one more match. So let's see if the Toon deck could do just a little better. Just a little bit. Trust me. But when the Toon deck pops off, it becomes close to impossible. The Toon deck is very good, but you need the searchers, you need Toon Kingdom, and you just need the right monsters. I know, kind of like any Yu-Gi-Oh deck, but I'm just saying. I always have a hard time choosing which one at least I kind of want to, you know, be the boss monster. But it's just kind of whoever I haven't really seen in a while. So since the spellcaster started, first we will start with the Toon deck now. And this is certainly looking a lot better. The Toon Bookmark, yep, that's... oh, this is a very good hand. So I'm going to play Toon Bookmark to add one Toon Kingdom to my hand. Or really, getting Toon Worlds is so stupid. Don't, even if you're playing Go, just trust, do yourself a favor and get Toon Kingdom. I mean, unless you're that serious about it, which I thought I was going to be, but when you find out how much better newer cards are, yeah. And these spells work the same way as the monsters. If one side lays down 3 spells or traps, then the other person is limited to just 2. Trust me, when Pegasus said that these Toon cards are OP, he certainly meant it. So now I'm going to special summon Toon Mermaid and Toon Harpy Lady. And then I will tribute them to summon Red Eye's Toon Dragon. And he allows you to summon 1 Toon monster from your hand. So I'm going to summon Toon Dark Magician, which these 2 cards are like the main cards for the Toon deck. But now I'll go over to these spellcasters. And I will play Dark Magical Circle. And then I will play Dimension Conjurer, which allows me to add 1 magical dimension to my hand. And of course it says, if you control a spellcaster monster, which I do, target 1 monster I control, tribute it, then special summon 1 spellcaster monster from your hand, and then you could destroy 1 monster on the field. And another effect of Dark Magical Circle, if Dark Magician is summoned to your field, pick 1 card from your opponent's graveyard and banish it. And it's great because an effect of Toon Bookmark is if a Toon World or Toon Kingdom is destroyed, banish Toon Bookmark instead. But the thing is, we are not destroying Toon World or Toon Kingdom, we're banishing it. This is great when it all works out. Banishing that Toon Kingdom was like one of the best things I could have done. And then I will look at the top 3 cards, because in effect of Dark Magical Circle, and if one mentions Dark Magician, add it to my hand. So I will. Dark Burning Magic, it doesn't really come in handy all too often. That would have been helpful for dealing with Toon Kingdom, but for Toon Bookmark, not so much. So then I will play this card face down, and I'll end the spellcaster turn. So now it's the Toon turn, and we'll play the Toon Table of Contents. We'll look for a Toon monster and add it to our hand. Okay, and of course I forgot to even attack. It's whatever. Usually if I forget to attack, which is kind of crazy because that is the name of the game, I just keep moving forward. Yeah, I was just looking at how many Dark Magicians are in the graveyard, because Toon Dark Magician Girl doesn't come in handy almost at all. I think I'll add Toon Blackluster Soldier. I'm going to use Red Eye's Toon Dragon's effect to search out a Toon card from my deck and add it to the field. So then I'll do it for Blackluster Soldier, and I'll attack Dark Magician and take him out. Because Toon Blackluster Soldier doesn't have summoning sickness, so she can attack the first turn she's summoned. That's negative 500 points to these spellcasters. So that was definitely a costly mistake. But hey, we'll see what happens. So now we will do the spellcaster's turn, and this card doesn't come in handy all too often. Then I'll look at the top 3 cards for my deck using the Dark Magical Circle effect. And it looks like none of the cards really even mattered. So now we'll go on to the Toon's turn, and we see we have a Blackluster Soldier and a Dark Magician. Now we will use the Toon Red Eyes effect again. So I will summon another Toon Blackluster Soldier. So now I can't use Red Eyes effect anymore because I'm out of room. Because you can only summon a max of 3 monsters. So now I will attack with all 3 cards, and that does some very serious damage. So now we'll go Spellcaster turn. Let's see if they could pull something off here. So now we'll use the effect of Dark Magical Circle again to look at the top 3 cards. Oh, so this card mentioned is Dark Magician, the only trap card in this entire deck. This card again doesn't really, it's very situational, but the artwork is just so cool. And when you play casual, not everything is super important. Oh, wait a second. I have Future Fusion. Another thing is, just because your opponent controls 3 monsters doesn't mean you cannot control 3 spells or traps. Because I mean, you know, it's not that serious. It's not like the loser this is being banished to the Shadow Realm. But if you want to play like that's the rule, you certainly can. I was always a little iffy on it, but you know, kind of it is what it is. So yeah, you could definitely move these cards around. It's really not that big of a deal. And so we will fusion one of these cards together. Whichever one will actually help us get out of this mess that the Toon cards have led us to. So we are going to do the same very thing with Dark Magician and Blackluster Soldier to summon Master of Chaos. So she will definitely help come in handy with dealing with, at least somewhat dealing with, these Blackluster Soldiers. So now we'll go over to the Toons. So now the Toon Blackluster Soldier will attack Master of Chaos, and the other monsters will attack, totally taking out these spellcasters. And everyone, that's that. So technically it was a 1v1 with the spellcasters and Toons, but this is a good representation of just how almost even these decks really can be. You need very specific cards with the Toon deck to actually win. Like, you almost need your hand to be perfect every time, or else it can get very hard. But when you get those Blackluster Soldiers, you just become unstoppable. These 4 cards right here are like the bread and butter of this entire Toon deck. Everyone, thank you so much. I really hope you like this video.